He's a valued member of the defense, and he really ought to be signed to an extension, and I'm actually not, this case anyway, talking about TJ Watt. Good morning to you. Good Wednesday morning. Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Steelers. Comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Penguins and Pirates in the same place that you found this. Hope you'll check those out as well. Deshon Elliott, through the 2024 season, had 111 tackle opportunities. He made, sit down for this, 108 of those. Once again, 111 opportunities, 108 tackles. That was a 97.3% tackle efficiency rating. That was the highest such rating in the history of the NFL's official next-gen stats, which the league began tracking in 2018. Each of those seasons coming with a qualification that it's a minimum of 100 tackle opportunities. He was ranked by Pro Football Focus to be the number one safety against the run in the entire league. Now, if you feel like you already kind of knew this, you probably should feel that way because you watched these games and you saw that every time 25 came near the football, that play was about to be over. And in the broader context of the Steelers agonizing, and I mean agonizing over how they finished the season in terms of run defense, and especially what happened in Baltimore, one could reasonably assume that this player would be more valuable than ever. Well, here's the part where it's kind of interesting. Elliott just turned 28 years old. That was just a couple weeks ago. When Omar Khan signed him, right around this time in 2024, it was to a 2-year, $6 million contract. Now, that is already a steal and a half. When you further factor in that in the overall safety rankings, the consensus is that he was top 10. I'm not talking about his tackling or his run defense. I'm talking about just being a safety. Then toss on top of all that the Steelers felt so good about Elliott near the line of scrimmage that they allowed Minkah Fitzpatrick to align himself 100 yards, only about a billion miles off the ball. Never mind the flaws on that. We can get into that some other day. This is about Elliott, and it's about his value, and it's about his contract. No, I am not one of those believers, although I'm sure David Mulugheta, Elliott's agent, is, that players should have the right to tear up contracts just because they overperform them. Both parties sign these things. Both parties should adhere to them. But what you can do, if you're the Steelers, and you have faith, reasonable faith, that Elliott can continue to perform the way he did in 2024 into, say, his age 29, his age 30, even his age 31 season, is you could get him for 3 years while in the same process executing a raise for the coming year. And you could do it plausibly without really affecting your cap space much, if at all. And I got to tell you, the more I think about this, the more I like it. Because while it's wonderful to fantasize, and I've had fun doing it myself, about what these draft picks, what Derek Harmon specifically can do for this run defense, you can't say on one hand, as Mike Tomlin did upon the drafting of Harmon, that the Steelers felt, quote, extreme urgency, end quote, to address the run defense, and then let Landon Roberts walk away when he was the guy with the 14 tackles on the day that the Ravens otherwise steamrolled you for 299 yards on the ground, and then let Elliott enter a walk year. If you want to be that team, if you want to be that defense that's known, and I don't just mean reputation-wise, I mean on merit, as being stout against the run, if that's part of your identity, this is a player that you want to keep. So he's here. You know what you've got. You're going to get to see it again this season. Just don't let it be the last season, because if he does this again, if he has a performance, even if it's just against the run, that's anywhere near the level we all just witnessed, he will price himself out of Pittsburgh like that. Don't even get me started, I get to repeat this, on $18 million going into Minka while he's not even involved in the play half the time. When we come back, J1Q.
This segment of Daily Shot is brought to you by our good friends at Mike's Beer Bar. They're located on Federal Street, directly across from PNC Park. Mike has more than 500 beers on tap, including from more than 50 local breweries. Stop in and say hello. Tell Mike we sent you. Mike's Beer Bar.
Today's J1Q, I'm actually going to sneak in a couple here. First one's from Hader, who says, "DK, what the hell is up with Roman Wilson? This is on the day after I finally dedicated a full program to Roman Wilson. It's relentless. No matter what you say about this, we could hire skywriters to fly aircraft over downtown Pittsburgh and say, this is what's up with Roman Wilson, and it just never seems to make it in any significant way." But then there's also Jorge Rico, who apparently did hear the show yesterday and says, "Buenos dias, DK. I want to look at it like this. We will see if Wilson's focus was on football. We now have a couple of examples in Calvin Austin and Corey Trice as players who focused on football when they got injured for a long stretch. And I think we're going to add value to the team with Wilson, but at what level? Like you said, the depth chart. It still seems that no matter what it is that you say about Wilson, whether it's you, Jorge, or me, or anybody else here, there's going to be more questions than answers. And I get that. He is a mystery because no one really got to see him. And even those of us who are at practices, he missed a lot of practice time as well. But I'm going to keep coming back to, well, first off, what you brought up anew, which is that Cal and Corey really made sure that they had productive rookie years, even though they missed the entirety of them. They were terrific students. They worked hard. They learned the plays, studied film, understood what their teammates were out there doing and going through and trying to live it with them as much as they could. Now, of course, to varying extents, they're both contributing members. But also reminding here that Wilson's a good football player. Now, Wilson was drafted in the third round for a reason. Wilson was drafted 84th overall for a reason. And just to kind of rewind time here, and I probably should have done this on yesterday's show to take everybody back into that moment that when he was picked, I'm going to read for you one scouting report, just one, related to his time at Michigan. Nearly 5'11", 185 pounds, Wilson projects as a slot receiver in the NFL. But he was Michigan's number one wide receiver in 2023, catching 48 passes for 789 yards and 12 touchdowns. Of those 48 catches, just over 37% went for gains of 20 or more yards, while nearly 80% went for either a first down or a touchdown. His average depth of target, this is a slot receiver, well, projected in the NFL, his average depth of target at Michigan was 14.1 yards downfield. Dude can play. Dude was taken for a reason. Just let it sort itself out here, one direction or the other. I appreciate all of the feedback that I got on the Roman Wilson episode, and you know what? I could do one every week, and it won't make a difference when the clock hits 4. Today, we'll be doing another double shot of Steelers. That's our live video program, and we'll be back with another one of these tomorrow.